Hello and welcome to another live episode of the Alex Nitzberg Show. I'm Alex Nitzberg, and today I'm going to be discussing a few topics, including a group of Republicans who are prepared to fight on, they're prepared to basically say no border security, no funding. They're going to basically oppose funding for the Department of Homeland Security unless they can achieve some steps towards achieving border security. Also, I'm going to talk a little bit about the importance of presidential vetoes from conservative presidents on the right, and why, like for instance, Trump should have been vetoing things, and he was not. He should have been vetoing more than he was, and DeSantis is talking about the importance of using the veto to kind of rein in out of control government spending. Also, I'm going to discuss a little bit the upcoming presidential primary debate on the Republican side. And it looks like Trump's probably not going to be participating, but I'm going to show you a little bit about that. So thank you for joining me for this episode. If you've been enjoying these shows, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And thank you to whoever just did. I saw somebody give me a thumbs up. Also, I'm going to start saying this, I think, every week. Even if you don't actually have a comment, if you wouldn't mind, leave some sort of comment. Even if you just type the letter A or something into the chat, just type like a letter or something, a word, whatever. Just type something into the comments. I'm thinking it possibly could juice up the algorithm and maybe get more views or something. I don't know, but I just thought I would start saying, instead of just saying give it a thumbs up, if you don't mind, maybe drop in a random letter or comment, or if you have something to say, that would be even better. But maybe that'll help too. So anyway, I've been doing these shows every Saturday at 3:30, so join me next Saturday as well if you would like. So let me go ahead and get into this here. And hey, I see 2 thumbs up now, so thank you for whoever that was there. All right, so let me get over here. There's my thumbs up reminder. All right, so Representative Chip Roy of Texas and a number of other, I was actually a little bit more than a dozen other lawmakers, are basically drawing a line in the sand here and saying that they will be opposing funding for DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, unless they can achieve some steps towards border security. And here's a letter that Chip Roy and a number of others signed, and it says, no appropriations should fund DHS until the necessary steps are taken to secure the border. And over here, you can see it says, simply put, no member of Congress should agree to fund a federal agency at war with his state and people. We have a moral obligation to protect our states, our nation, and importantly, the migrant children getting abused from the disaster transpiring at our southern border. No border security, no funding. And I'm going to show you a clip here of Chip Roy talking about this.
This is about the human toll. You guys, I assume, have seen the Sound of Freedom. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you watch that, right? There are real life stories of that. My friend, Reed O'Connor, a federal judge in Fort Worth, had to upward depart from the guidelines to have a higher punishment because he saw the horrors of a man who had come here illegally, and his daughter was being held in a stash house in Fort Worth for $23,000, being threatened to be raped by the cartels. So we're allowing this to happen in the most powerful country in the world? I would just ask every one of my Republican colleagues, is it not enough to stand up for that one little girl to go to tell the president, no, you're not going to get a tax dollar to fund a Department of Homeland Security that's allowing that to occur on our watch? That's what we're saying. At least a dozen of my colleagues from Texas are saying to our colleagues on the Hill, you are not going to get our support for a continuing resolution, for any kind of funding for DHS, if you don't address the border. Pass and sign H.R. 2 into law, secure the border, fund Texas back for the $10 billion we've had to spend. Governor Abbott, like right behind me in the Texas Capitol, Governor Abbott, DPS, they're down on the border. Just yesterday, the Texas Rangers stopped a sex offender in a train who had gotten through. They stopped him. And it wasn't that Border Patrol doesn't want to stop them. They're overwhelmed. Yeah. But this administration refuses to secure our border, and people are suffering. And we're saying enough.
Congressman,
enough
I hear you.
Enough.
I hear you. Here's the thing. 84,000 kids.
Okay, so yeah, we have some Republicans who are actually willing to fight on something. That's pleasant, We need Republicans to have backbone, to stand up, to be willing to, that's weird, to be willing to fight on things. And so here's Chip Roy and a number of other Republicans who are willing to say, we're putting our foot down. We're not funding DHS. We need to get some border security going on here. Now, also, let me go over here. Chip Roy had this tweet where he said, he's basically saying the establishment GOP is like but you will lose votes with a shutdown. And he said, me, false and color me crazy, but maybe, just maybe, we should fight for something bigger than elections. No security, no funding. We could use more lawmakers, more Republican lawmakers who would stand up for this. We don't necessarily need Republicans in Congress. We need conservatives in Congress. So this is good. Obviously, if you've been paying any attention at all to the border situation, there are so many factors that go into that. And like I think he was saying, it's a humanitarian problem. Obviously, there's just the simple security problem of we don't want terrorists or, bad people being able to come across the border without being caught. Obviously, I've written many articles basically just rewriting Customs and Border Patrol press releases where they talk about how they captured previously deported, previously convicted sex offenders, who were kicked out of the U.S. and they're coming back in and they catch them. So there's a lot of issues about why we need to have a secure border. And so it's good that we have some lawmakers fighting for that. All right, so on this topic here. So I'm going to show you this clip of DeSantis talking about the importance of basically cutting down on this crazy spending and also the importance of using presidential veto.
We need to rein in Congress's spending habits. They are spending us into oblivion. I believe we need structural reforms like a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution and term limits for members of Congress. But I also think as a president, you've got to be willing to lean in and use the veto pen to be able to battle against this excessive spending. And our debt, even 5 or 6 years ago, was like 21 trillion. Now it's 32 trillion. Just in the last month or so, they've added another trillion to our national debt. And it's all because Congress, it's easier for them to put it on the credit card than to actually have to make tough decisions. And so we are going to be a force against that. In Florida, we run big budget surpluses. We've paid down debt. I've vetoed billions and billions of dollars of excessive spending since I've been governor to keep everything in line and to keep things going in a good direction. And we really haven't had a president since Ronald Reagan who leaned in against Congress over spending. And so I will be that president that will do that and will stand up for taxpayers and will stand up for the next generation.
Okay, so here's the thing. He's obviously right about that. If you're conservative, I mean, how can you disagree with somebody who's saying they want to cut spending? I mean, that's one of the fundamental principles of being conservative is you want to cut government spending because it's, you don't want to pay more taxes. You don't want to have out of control government. So here's the thing, though. President Trump, former President Trump, when he was president, he signed monstrous, spending bills. If you remember during COVID, they were passing, and it wasn't, I mean, obviously, there were many Republicans who were voting for these, completely massive, absurd, large, massive spending bills during COVID. But I'm assuming that DeSantis is probably sort of taking a dig at Trump there, but I mean, it's deserved. I mean, Trump, when he was in office, should have vetoed giant spending bills, like that. Like when those huge billions or trillions or whatever they were come through, he's president. He can't pass legislation, but he can veto the legislation and say, don't send me something like this. I'm not signing this, crazy spending stuff. So that is something that he should have done when he was in office. And so just make that point there. So also I want to show you this. This is a clip of Senator Rand Paul in April of 2020, back when all this stuff was going on with this crazy COVID spending. And he had a really good point back in the thick of all this.
The one choice that will get our economy growing again, reopening American commerce. So today I rise in opposition to spending $500 billion more. The virus bailouts have already cost over $2 trillion. Our annual deficit this year will approach $4 trillion. We can't continue on this course. No amount of bailout dollars will stimulate an economy that is being strangled by quarantine. It is not a lack of money that plagues us, but a lack of commerce. This economic calamity only resolves when we begin to reopen the economy. Opening the economy will require Americans to rise above partisanship, to understand that deaths from infectious disease will continue, but that we cannot indefinitely quarantine. Make no mistake about it. The one choice.
So, yeah. Like I say on this show, Republican does not equal conservative, and as many of you are aware, there are a lot of Republicans. People refer to them as rhinos, Republican name only people that are Republican, but they're not sufficiently conservative. Well, if you actually pay attention, like I said with Trump, there were areas where he was very bad. For instance, he should have really not been approving, signing off on some of these crazy spending bills. So areas where he was not sufficiently conservative. DeSantis is saying something good. I believe he would probably veto some of crazy spending bills if he was president. You know, he'd have he'd have to actually be president to find out, and that'll probably move me on to my next topic, which is the debate in the. Oh no! Wait. Oh, I didn't want to mention this. I did not know this. I recently found out that Ron DeSantis is Roman Catholic, and this is like a 3-second clip. But let me just play this because many of you may have been under the impression that he was a Christian, or something. But no, he's actually Roman Catholic, which is a different religion. That's not some people kind of conflate that. Roman Catholicism, a completely different religion. It's not biblical Christianity. It includes like works-based salvation and praying to dead people and all kinds of unbiblical stuff. But the point of the gospel is that everyone has sinned, fallen short of the glory of God, but you can be saved by the free grace of God offered through the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, who paid for your sins, and that if you trust in Christ's payment for your sins, you can be saved, not of works. It's a gift of God. Roman Catholicism involves more works-based stuff. So I'm not going to get way into that here, but anyway, I just wanted to point this out because in case anybody didn't realize it like me, he's actually Roman Catholic.
You consider yourself Roman Catholic today? Still, yeah. Okay. So you consider yourself Roman Catholic?
So, obviously when you're voting for president, you're not voting for a pastor, so you don't have to agree with their religious beliefs, but, I was surprised and disappointed to find out that he's Roman Catholic. So anyway, just thought I would share that with you in case you didn't know it either. So, all right, so over here, so the debate and stuff. Now, I'm talking about DeSantis and Trump. And you can probably tell from what I'm saying that I think DeSantis would be a better choice than Trump. However, I don't think there's any possibility that DeSantis is actually going to be the nominee because Trump is totally trouncing everybody, DeSantis and everybody in the polls and stuff. And it looks like that Trump is going to easily clinch the nomination again, actually for the third time straight, because he was the nominee in, obviously when he won in 2016 and then when he lost in 2020, and then he's probably going to be the nominee again for the third time here. And if he is, I'll definitely be voting for him. But here, the Republican National Committee keeps partnering up with Fox for the debates. And let me know in the comments below. I think that the Republican National Committee should be picking a more conservative outlet. I work for The Blaze, so I would prefer them. The Blaze, or, the Daily Wire, or even maybe Newsmax or One American News or something. Why do they keep partnering up with Fox? I think a lot of conservatives are really turned off by Fox, and ironically turning off Fox because of the whole Tucker Carlson thing, and just they've been exposed for promoting LGBT stuff, and it's just they're not as conservative as maybe you would think they are. There's conservative people on there, obviously, like Hannity and Laura Ingraham and whatever, but it's just conservatives are, especially with the whole Tucker Carlson debacle. I think that's what really turned a lot of people off with them. So. But here we have, RNC announces Fox Business Republican primary debate with partners of Reagan Foundation, Univision, Rumble, and you can see here this first paragraph says, today Republican National Committee Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel announced Fox Business, the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation and Institute, Univision, and Rumble as partners for the second Republican presidential primary debate that will take place at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, September 27, 2023. And also, that's next, August, September is next month, but in August, later, in a week and a half, 2 weeks from now, it's about a week and a half. It's August 23rd. Today's August 12th. They're going to have the first debate, which is going to be on Fox News. It says RNC is proud to announce Fox News Republican primary debate with partners Young America's Foundation and Rumble Video. I believe it's going to be streaming on Rumble as well. But so they keep partnering up with Fox and Fox Business. And yeah, let me know in the comments who you think that they should partner up with for the primary debate. But I definitely think they could maybe do one with Fox, but I think they should do something with Blaze would be great, the Blaze, Daily Wire, whatever. But since I work for the Blaze, I'm going to go with the Blaze. But let me know who you think they should do a debate with. Here's the one that's coming up on August 23rd. It's Brett Baer and Martha McCallum will be moderating. And then I wanted to mention this. the big kahuna, Donald Trump himself, may be missing a missing ingredient from this first upcoming debate here. Because when you look at polling, he's completely trouncing everyone, like I said. But he's kind of saying, why would I do a debate when I'm already winning? And also, the RNC is requiring people who want to participate in this debate to meet certain polling thresholds, which obviously Trump would meet, but also they're requiring them to sign a pledge committing to support whoever the eventual party nominee is for president. And Trump is saying there are people that he wouldn't want to be president, that he wouldn't want to endorse, and he's not really willing to sign the pledge. He's supposed to, I think he said he's going to announce what his plans are in this coming week here. So I think he sounds like he's probably not going to do it, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to imagine Trump like turning down the opportunity to be on stage and, all that attention and stuff. But it sounds like he might not do it. We'll see what he says. Let me show you the clipper and you can see what you think.
Well, when you're at 75, 78, 80%, and other guys are at 0, 1%, 2%, 3%, you do say, what's the upside? Am I going to go up 1 point? But they could go up. They're not dumb people. They're senators. They're governors, they're intelligent people. You have some very good people. I think you have some very good people, and you have some people. I have a problem with the debate for another reason. I wouldn't sign the pledge. Why would I sign a pledge? There are people on there that I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have certain people as, somebody that I'd endorse. So they want you to sign a pledge. But I can name 3 or 4 people that I wouldn't support for president. So right there's a problem, okay? Right there's a problem. But I don't have to use that.
Right now,
no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. There's no reason to insult them. But there are some people there that a lot of people wouldn't endorse, but they wouldn't be right. They're not going to go anywhere, by the way. They're not going to get it. But I wouldn't endorse it.
So the RNC said that's one of the requirements for, so you won't sign it.
Well, they have 3 or 4 people that I wouldn't, who would put these people as president? If you ever put these people as president, but you'll get somebody else. There'll be somebody. But right now, I saw Kristi Noem.
All right, so I'll stop that there. Let me know, what do you think? Do you think that it's a good or a bad policy to have them sign this pledge that they will support the eventual nominee? I don't think if I was in charge of the RNC, I don't think I would make them sign something like that. That's your choice. That's your choice who to vote for. It's your choice who to support. And just making people make a blanket pledge that they will support whoever the nominee is, I think Trump has a valid point to be able to say, hey, there's a bunch of people maybe that I wouldn't support. So now, if you want to participate in the debate, you don't have a choice. You have to sign the pledge. And it's pretty much an easy pledge to sign because obviously most of those candidates up there have no chance of winning, and it's probably going to be Trump or possibly DeSantis, but most likely, Trump. Probably 1 or 2 of them, probably Trump. But anyway. So there's that. We'll see what happens with whether or not Trump ends up being there. If Trump isn't there, then DeSantis will be the top dog at the debate. And it'll be interesting. Well, if Trump skips this one, will he ever do a debate? Like I said, there's another debate coming up in September. So will he do that, or will he just skip all of them altogether? The way the polls are right now, he looks like he'd probably skip everything and still win. So do you think he should debate? That's another thing. Do you guys think he should debate? You can leave a comment. And let me know what you think. Obviously, I'm trying to get comments here, but maybe it'll help with the YouTube algorithm, get more views and stuff. But thank you for watching this episode. And let me go back. I saw I had a bunch of comments, so let me see what you guys are saying. All right, I see someone named Char left a thumbs up. Thank you for that, because I was asking people, even if you don't have anything to say, just leave a comment of some sort. Maybe it'll do something. So thank you for that thumbs up on the comments. And someone named Dibbin saying, we need common sense for sure. You said Crenshaw wants a task force just for the fentanyl. And you said something is disgusting, and you said you didn't know that about something. Whoa, thank you, Dibbin. You left me a lot of comments here. So, but anyway, so thank you for those of you who left comments, and let me say thank you also to everyone who left thumbs up. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel. Also, please, if you are on X/Twitter, give me a follow over there as well. I've been posting content on there. I share my articles from the Blaze, and I just I tweet stuff, different things. So if you're on there, you can give me a follow on there as well. And thank you for watching this episode. I'll be back next Saturday at 3:30 for another episode, and I'll see you guys then. Bye bye. Have a good rest of your weekend.